An artist's love letter to the Scottish National Gallery. Edinburgh is a place that feels like time travel. You're looking at the Scottish National Gallery, home to some of the world's most incredible art that spans 120,000 objects. The gallery is filled with fascinating paintings and secrets hidden in plain sight. From brutal dramas to national controversies, these are the details most visitors walk right past. Let's uncover the strangest, most beautiful, and famous art with stories inside. This building is free to enter, and it will ruin every other gallery for you. This is the most underrated art experience in the UK. Hi, I'm Veronica Winters, a visionary artist and book author. I've been to the Louvre, the Met, the Hermitage, the Uffizi, and this quiet gallery in Scotland wrecks them all. It heals something in me I didn't know was broken. This art museum consists of three separate buildings. Part 1. The first hit, Classical Perfection. In this section, I'm jumping from classical perfection to vigorous brushstrokes. First, Antonio Canova's incredible sculpture, The Three Graces. Carved from white marble, the three daughters of Zeus seem to glow with life. The women symbolize chastity, beauty, and love. The secret here isn't the story, but Canova's technique, elegance, grace, and perfection, depicting women in a conversation, all three facing each other. The same theme, three graces, and a different interpretation is in a painting by Sir Joshua Reynolds, The Ladies of Waldegrave. Expertly painted, the figures sit in a careful arrangement of a semicircle, making a silk lace. I found my new favorite painting, and it is in Scotland. Sargent's Lady Agnew is in this building. When the painting was exhibited at the Royal Academy in London in 1893, it was an instant success for both the artist and the sitter, launching their celebrity status in the country. Look at this soft lilac and white next to her skin, her confidence. I felt it in my chest. I had to stop taking pictures and just admire the sheer talent and beauty. Another upvote for classical elegance, fluid brushstrokes, and female confidence goes to English artist Thomas Gainsborough and his 1777 painting, The Honourable Miss Graham. Part 2. The One That Broke Me. This painting is an outstanding creation of the Celtic revival movement, which had begun in the end of the 19th century in Scotland. The Irish Saint Bride is shown being carried by angels over the Hebridean seas to Bethlehem to witness the Nativity of Christ. It might look no different until you stand in front of it. Then it's suddenly the loneliest, most beautiful thing you've ever seen. I whispered, "Thank you." Part 3. The Light, the Silence, the Magic. Go to the lower level to see colorful 19th century Scottish art. The gallery has expanded since my last visit in 2019, and I could enjoy looking at new art by Scottish artists in 2025. This wing is fascinating because the displayed art is top-notch, diverse, and sincere. Yet, none of these artists and paintings show up in major art history books. So it's a lot of discovery for me here personally. There are many colorists, landscape art, portraiture with a contemporary feel, stylized paintings, and inspirational and spiritual and religious art. I spent an hour down here alone. Pure bliss. William Dice, Francesca da Rimini. Dicey's colorful and realistic painting is an example of artistic fascination with the famous Italian poet Dante, who lived in the 13th century. The artist depicted a doomed affair between Francesca and her husband's younger brother. Francesca was in an arranged political marriage to an old ugly enemy husband, the master of Rimini, who originally appeared on canvas to the left, aiming to kill the lovers. The story comes from Dante's Hell. In Dante's writing, the murdered lovers were condemned to wander eternity in the second circle of hell. The presence of an old man's hand to the left of the painting is the only part remaining from the original depiction of her husband. The canvas was severely damaged and trimmed in 1882. Another fantastic Scottish artist, Robert Burns, created colorful stylized art in this beautiful painting titled The Hunt. The artist uses a contemporary approach to painting with a combination of textures, materials, colors, and lines. This unique embroidery by Fabiana Tranquere is the final artwork in a series of four called The Progress of a Soul, made in 1902. The human soul is represented by an ideal young man dressed in animal skin and a character based on the writing of Walter Pater. In this painting, the hero is seen after death, reborn into eternal life. A red-winged seraph kissed the man to wake him in heaven. This painting, titled The Spell by Sir William Douglas, a highly unusual painting depicting a priest or a magician or an alchemist, an avid art collector himself. The artist channels his interests in mysticism and occult through his art. Here, an old man is trying to raise the spirit of a dead one. The books in disarray, the stone walls with strange pentagram drawings create a surreal feeling. On this floor, you'll also find a number of beautiful, colorful landscapes painted by Scottish artists in the 19th century, including James Peterson, Sir William Fitz Douglas, Hugh Patton, and Peter Graham. Sir James Guthrie painted heartfelt paintings of children set in local gardens. Part 4. The heart of Scotland's monarchy, Queen of Scots. Next, let's dive into the heart of the Scottish collection, where art and national identity are locked together. A lot of Scottish history revolves around the tragic life of Mary, Queen of Scots, who was eventually executed by the Queen of England. In the 19th century, her story became fascinating for artists and poets once again. Sir William Allen painted a historically accurate murder scene of David Rizzio, the Queen's Italian secretary, in March 1566. The artist established the identity and role of all people involved in this scene and painted the exact interior of Mary's room at the Palace of Holyrood in Edinburgh. Here, he depicted the Earl of Morton in a black hat to the far right, and Mary was restrained by her husband, Lord Darnley, who was part of the conspiracy but later denied any involvement. Another classical revival painting of Mary in the gallery is by Robert Hardman, Mary, Queen of Scots, The Farewell to France. And here are a few more paintings on the same theme. Other icons of Scotland are here too. A captivating portrait of Queen Anne hangs in the gallery. Two 17th century artists worked on a single painting. They depicted an 18-year-old queen. She was the last Stuart monarch and the ruler who oversaw the 1707 Act of Union. which created Great Britain by uniting the kingdoms of England and Scotland. The tragedy of her life was 12 children dead either in infancy or miscarriages. Can you imagine this level of human suffering? And one of the earliest famous historical paintings in Scotland is by Hugo van der Goes, the Trinity altarpiece from 1480, are four panels painted for a Scottish chapel. In the altarpiece, you can see King James III. He wears an open crown that changes shape and becomes closed at the end of the 15th century. The idea of Scottish freedom is captured in a more recent oil painting titled "The Monarch of the Glen" by Sir Edwin Landseer. It's one of the most famous British pictures of the 19th century, depicting a single deer as a symbol of the vastness and majesty of Scotland. Part 5: The drama of the old masters that feels brand new. Next, the masters of the Italian Renaissance and Spanish Baroque, where every canvas is a stage for high drama. Take The Feast of Herod by Peter Paul Rubens. At first glance, it's a lavish dinner, but the real story is horrifying. Look at the reactions of all people involved.
16th century artist Sir Peter Paul Rubens depicts Herodias' daughter Salome. Herod had promised to grant her any wish for her beautiful dance, and so Salome asked for the head of John the Baptist. This was Herodias' revenge for the Baptist's outspoken criticism of her marriage to Herod. In this dramatic painting, the popular biblical scene is Salome's presentation of Saint John the Baptist's head to King Herod.
Herod shrinks back in horror. It's a masterclass in capturing the depravity of a single gruesome moment. Nearby, the Venetian master Titian lets us contemplate the fragility of life in the three ages of man. And there is the intense realism of the young Spanish painter Diego Velázquez. His old woman cooking eggs is so lifelike you can almost hear the sizzle, but the secret is its mystery. It's simply a slice of everyday life or an allegory about youth and old age. One of few female artists in art history is Angelica Kauffman. Here we see a portrait of Alexander Gordon, 4th Duke of Gordon, painted in 1774. A young Swiss woman captured her patron in a dashing red dress, similar to Van Dyck's costumes, to give him an air of opulence. Here you'll also find paintings by Sandro Botticelli, Guercino, Raphael, Sir Anthony van Dyck, and a contemporary friend of young Rembrandt, Jan Lievens. Part 6: French Masters before the final death of classicism. If you love classical French art, here you'll discover a few exceptional portraits. This portrait exhibits the artist's masterful sense of color, light, and unseen brushwork, characteristic of the neoclassical painters. A pupil of David Fabre was a very popular portrait and historical painter who was also an art collector. You'll find his art collection of Italian paintings housed in a special museum in Montpellier. Paul de la Roche painted this beautiful portrait study, but his most famous large-scale painting is the execution of Lady Jane Grey. We see a man wrapped up in his thoughts, solemn, simple. Painted in Rome by the 17th century French artist Nicolas Poussin, his art occupies an entire gallery with a series of paintings titled The Seven Sacraments. They represent the seven holy rites of the Roman Catholic Church. Part 7: Famous modern artists that could be missed. There are several relatively small paintings displayed in the galleries. They include modern masters such as Paul Gauguin, Van Gogh, and Edgar Degas, to name a few. Part 8: Dutch Masters and Hidden Meanings. Now, for the Dutch Golden Age, where nothing is ever just what it seems, there are pictures with a purpose often packed with moral lessons. Rembrandt's late self-portrait is brutally honest. He doesn't hide his age or hardship. Instead, you can read his life story, including his bankruptcy and personal losses, in his very expression and the thick textured paint. By the way, I have another video about Rembrandt's life in Amsterdam and brutal twists of his career and fate. Watch it next. John van Huysum, flowers still live in a sculpted stone vase with bird's nest. According to the taste and fashion of the Dutch at that time, this extravagant large bouquet consists of a variety of flowers from different seasons, with insects and butterflies. Jan van Huysum was the leading Dutch painter of flowers in the 18th century, and he received prestigious commissions from royal households and aristocrats around Europe. This is his largest painting done on copper, a support he rarely used. And you cannot talk about Dutch masters without Frans Hals, whose portraits feel shockingly alive. His genius was capturing a spontaneous moment of everyday life in confident brushstrokes. Part 9: The hidden portrait galleries almost no one visits. There are also a smaller portrait gallery located about 15-20 minutes away from the main building. It has a very beautiful entrance with paintings on the walls, elegant lights, and some classical and contemporary art inside. Very few people get there as it's off of Edinburgh Royal Mile, but it's totally worth your visit if you're an artist. It would take an hour, maybe an hour and a half, to walk through it. One large contemporary art painting is Ellen Coming by Christian Hook. It depicts a talented Scottish actor. And here are a few more beautiful contemporary and modern oil paintings and sculptures that I saw in that portrait gallery. No loud groups, just the creak of the wooden floor muffled Edinburgh life outside, and 700 years of genius staring at you. I've never felt so small and so seen at the same time. If you only do one cultural thing in Edinburgh, skip the castle for one morning, come here, walk slowly, let the paintings talk. They'll say things guidebooks never could. And the best part, it costs nothing, except maybe your heart. Thank you for protecting beauty, Scotland. Thank you for watching. Which painting broke you? Tell me below. My art is available at veronicasart.com. Link is in the description. Check out other videos on my YouTube channel at Veronica's Art. I have new series about the best art museums. Until then, bye bye.